Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video, and this is episode number 11, I believe, of Zero to Hero. We are here for the Italian Grand Prix and round 12 on the calendar, I believe, if I'm correct. So as you can see, we are here at Ferrari's home track, and obviously we're going to be keen to impress and try and perform for the Tifosi here at the ever famous Monza circuit. And as you can see, we're just going through our setup at the moment, and we've applied the upgrades that we unlocked in the last race, including the almighty rear wing upgrade that we finally managed to get in the last race. So finally we can have some decent straight line speed around a track which, you know, is known as a temple of speed, and you need some good straight line speed in the back of your car. So finally we have, you know, I'd say the most important upgrade in the car, so that's really good for us. That's going to help us out an absolute treat around here, because also if my brake does stick, then we shouldn't have any major problems because of the rear wing. So we're going to move to the race now, and hopefully we can try and get a result here in Italy for the Italian fans as we start from P20 on the grid, and the lights are out, and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix, getting a pretty okay start, nothing major, but definitely not the worst start. And we're now just going to wait for turn 1, because there's a definite chance here to pick up plenty of positions up the inside. You can see Harrianto there making moves up the inside, diving up the inside of plenty of cars, and get himself into the points for the time being, I believe, into P10 there. So an unbelievable start from Rio Harrianto. Meanwhile, ourselves up into P12 now as we get past Sergio Perez here, going through Curva Grande, turn 3 here. Perez is still on our outside. Can he possibly just back out of that? That'd be absolutely fantastic. We can just literally back off, and yes, he does. He just backs out of it and decides to slot in behind us there for P13. So we've got ourselves up into P12 already now, and later on that lap, as you can see, Harrianto is starting to already cause a bit of a train here, and he's holding up Felipe Nasr, and I'm all over the back of him as I almost go to the back of the pair of them through the Escalade chicane there. Could have ended up in tears if I'd gone a little bit too fast through there, but now we're going to try and take Harrianto here on the straight line, on the back straight here, as you can see, and also Nasr, we're going to try and have a little sniff around the outside. Can we possibly pick him up here through Parabolica? We've got to go around the outside. Can we make it stick? Yes, we do, just about, but Nasr is still there on our inside as we go side by side now down the pit straight. Ferrari engine versus Ferrari engine. As you can see, Nasr's got an incredible bit of straight line speed, and I'm going to try and go for some slipstream, but look at this, Nasr getting right onto the inside there. Side by side action also of other cars on the other side of the track, and we're going to go three wide into turn 1 here, as you can see, with Harrianto and Nasr, and Perez actually got past all of us, and we're now going to go 3 wide on the exit, as you can see, and Nasr is still there on our inside, and now we're going to go side by side just about through Curva Grande, and eventually we have to start back in behind Nasr, but we are going to pick up some slipstream once again and try and overtake him as we go onto the grass, Vettel Alonso-esque from 2011 and 2012, I believe, and we're finally going to get the move up the inside of the chicane here and finally get the move on Nasr there. But what an incredible battle, and Nasr goes super defensive right up to the wall there, so something you don't really see every day from the AI there. But we've got ourselves up into P11, and we're now on the back of Sergio Perez on the start of lap 3 here, and we're going to pick up some slipstream here as DRS is not enabled, and we're going to pull to the inside, hitting almost 360 k's, and slow it all down for turn 1 and make the move on the Mexican driver there. And that is us now into the points quite comfortably, and we're now behind Kevin Magnussen, who is the next person we've got to try and overtake here. A little bit of a train, I believe. I can't see who's holding up in the distance, but there's a little bit of a train here. If we get past these cars, we can be in good shape for the rest of the race now. And as you can see, we're going to go to the inside here and try and overtake Magnussen into the Ascari chicane. Can we possibly make it stick here? We are going to try and go for it, and yes, we do make the move on the Danish driver, and that is us up into P9, and we're now on the back of Daniel Ricciardo here, and we actually go right around the outside of him on the exit of the Ascari chicane. And look at this action here, Ericsson and Palmer also just up the road as we go 2 wide into Parabolica. All of us going 2 wide into Parabolica, and I'm getting squeezed right onto the inside by Ricciardo there, but I'm having absolutely none of it, and I force Ricciardo back out. We're now got a brilliant exit, and we're going to fly past Jolyon Palmer here in dramatic fashion. Literally, he's got a very poor exit out of the Parabolica, and I just flew past him, and we're now got DRS enabled, and we're right back with Marcus Ericsson here, and we're just going to pull to the inside almost 370 kilometers an hour, so all down for turn 1, down to second gear. Ericsson is still on our inside, but we are going to hopefully get the better traction here on the racing line on the exit of the chicane, and yes, we do. We get the move done on Ericsson for P6 there, and we're now back up into a pretty decent position so far. And on lap 7, Massa is backwards at the Ascari chicane, as you can see, so we've got to look at a replay of what happened to Massa there, but not something you see every day. Massa backwards, and Rosberg's right in front of us, so there must have been some sort of altercation here. And as you can see, Rosberg actually goes up the inside of Massa, they lock wheels, and then Massa's the one that gets spun round. Rosberg just gets away, and Massa sat on the racing line. I go past, and then literally just after that, look at that, he causes a massive pile up there, catches Perez and the Renault, and then Nasr goes straight into the back of all of that, so Massa causing a massive accident there. As you can see, more cars are still fighting through that incident, so overall very scrappy incident there. Rosberg was pretty much to blame, you could say, because he's the one that caught Massa by going up the inside and then spinning him out. So moving later on onto lap 8, and we're right on the back of Nico Rosberg going down the back straight here, and we've got the DRS wide open on the German driver, and we should be able to make the move quite easily up the inside of the Ascari chicane, similar to Kevin Magnussen a couple of laps ago. Rosberg though actually tries to go a bit better than me on the brakes, but there's no room through on the outside there. He runs in a little bit deep onto the AstroTurf, and he's basically screwed because I've got the better racing line. I'm just going to fly past him. So as you can see later on that lap, we are coming for our first stop of the race, and we've got Lewis Hamilton ahead of us here, and it's going to be a bit of a pit stop battle here, even though Lewis is quite a fair few seconds ahead of me. And off goes Lewis there, and I'm just going to serve mine nice and quickly here, not getting held up whatsoever onto another set of soft tyres. And Lewis is right there, so he's the target this race, because I believe he's the man in the lead of the race, I believe. So if we can try and get past Lewis, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So as you can see, we're going to rejoin now, just about now, and I think that's Perez actually who's going to get past us. So Perez, who was tangled up in that spin earlier on, he's actually stayed out for one more lap, and he's actually going to hold us up here, getting himself between ourselves and Lewis Hamilton. He's actually going to get ahead of us for the time being, but I'm just going to re-overtake him straight away here on the back straight with help of a little bit of DRS here for PA, and that's a nice easy move, and we're back up into where we should have been after the pit stop. But as you can see, moving later on onto the start of lap 10, we regain those positions that we'd lost once because we pit, so we're back up into a net P4, and we've actually jumped Nico Rosberg. So obviously Rosberg, he was behind us, but he did stay out one more lap, so obviously it's good to see that we managed to stay ahead of him, and we actually kept on P4. But meanwhile, moving later on to the end of lap 11, you can see that Bottas and Vettel are battling through Ascari, and actually we're going to capitalise on this by overtaking Vettel here, and we're going to try and have a sniff around the outside of Bottas, but Bottas gives us a last second little squeeze there, and almost forces us onto the grass, so we had to back out of that, which allows Vettel to get back past us both. And I'm actually going to get the best exit out of the three through Parabolic, and that's going to allow me to get alongside Vettel here, get past Bottas already, and I'm going to have DRS here. Vettel's the one who's really sort of a bit of a sitting duck at the moment, and I'm just going to fly past with some DRS here and take P2 into turn 1 here, a bit of a double front knock up, and that allows Bottas to dive one up the inside here as we go side by side through the first chicane, and eventually Bottas gets past us here, and I've got to settle for P3 for the time being as we go through Curva Grande. But what an incredible battle this is so far. This race has been absolutely crazy for action, and it's all down to the DRS straights, because obviously people getting yo-yoed. But as you can see now, we got up the inside of Bottas through turn 4. Can we possibly make the move here? Bottas is going to hold the inside, but we have to better run around the outside of the chicane, and finally we make the move there for P2, and hopefully we can hold on to that. But moving later on to lap 13, Vettel actually re-overtook us here, so we're going to have to re-overtake our teammate now. Going to Ascari, Vettel runs in a little bit deep here, and I'm just going to go around the outside, but there's no room through there. However, we are going to get the better exit out of Ascari and get past Vettel. So and if you look at the background, Rosberg is now joining this battle, so it's now a 4-car battle for P2, and look at Rosberg gaining on the outside. That Mercedes really pushing through on the outside there. Meanwhile, Vettel now dives one up the Parabolica here. Both of the Ferraris going at it in their home race. Hopefully Arriva Bain doesn't have a heart attack, because the last thing he wants in this race is for us to crash each other out. But as you can see, onto the start of lap 14 now, we're going to re-overtake Vettel without DRS. We don't even need DRS because we've got enough straight enough speed in the back of this Ferrari. As we now approach turn 1 here, we're going to try and get nice and late on the brakes, side by side action into the first chicane, and Vettel is still there on my inside, and now Rosberg is having a sniff up my inside of the chicane, and he actually gets past us now as he gets some good traction on the exit, and Rosberg's got himself up into P3. So literally just changing positions all the time here as we now go later on onto the end of lap 14, and now Rosberg's trying to have a sniff up the inside of Vettel through Parabolica, and I'm just sitting here waiting, biding my time, waiting for my moment to strike, and I think this could be it now. So DRS comes available on the pit straight. We're going to go almost 3 wide there down the pit straight, and now the race into turn 1. As you can see, we're going side by side with our teammate now, and who's going to break the latest into turn 1? And we're going to try and be a little bit braver on the brakes this time, and this time we do get a little bit deeper into turn 1 and now go around the outside of Vettel, and this time it looks like we have got the move done on our teammate just about. We are side by side on the exit there, a little bit of contact between the two of us, but eventually I do manage to get past into Curva Grande, and that is us back up into P2 there. So a very, very long battle, but finally we managed to come out on top there and take P2, and as you see, we now actually got up into the lead of the race because Hamilton actually pit, I think, last lap, and we're now coming in to respond to Hamilton's pit stop at the end of lap 17, and we're going to go into a set of medium tyres and basically go to the end of the race. So that's the strategy plan, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't get held up and the team can give us a good stop here. As you see, going onto the white wall mediums, not a single car in the pit lane there. I'll say that Rosberg's right behind us, but we don't get held up. That's what I meant by not a single car. And Rosberg is all over our chuff now. He's on the exact same strategy as we are, so his tyres are going to be the exact same age as ours. As Hamilton there just shoots past, as you can see on the left hand side just a moment ago, and we're going to rejoin in P3 behind Hamilton. So you've got to think Hamilton is in a net first place, and I'm in second, and then Rosberg's in third. So it's going to be a battle of Ferrari versus Mercedes here. But I've got to say, on these medium tyres, guys, my pace was absolutely blistering in the first couple of laps. I was setting fastest laps of the race, and we actually caught up to Lewis Hamilton. As you can see on the start of lap 23, we sit yet another fastest lap here, and we've got DRS on Lewis Hamilton as we go to the outside down the pit straight now, and we're going to get past the 3 times world champion way before turn 1 here, make the move on the British driver, and we're going to take the lead of the race here. However, Lewis Hamilton was having none of it, and he was going to respond later on that lap with some DRS of himself down the back straight into the Ascari chicane. He runs in a little bit deep here, which allows me to just breeze past him on the switchback through Ascari. He literally outbroke himself because of the straight line speed with the added DRS, and he obviously miscalculated the braking point, and I just got literally straight back past him straight away. But however, Hamilton was not done yet as he came straight back at us once again on the pit straight, returning the favour around the outside into turn 1, and he retakes the lead of the race for now, literally doing what I did to him a lap ago, the exact same move around the outside. So Lewis really putting up a fight here, and he doesn't want this victory to slide, and I'm trying my hardest to try and win this race for the Tifosi here at Monza. As you can see now, on to the end of lap 24, we pull off some beautiful slipstream on the exit of Ascari here, and we've got so much more speed, and we're just going to pull alongside Hamilton and overtake him into Parabolica. But Hamilton once again just dives it back up my inside at Parabolica on the brakes, and I literally cannot match the AR for the brakes into Parabolica into turn 1. They're so much better than me, and we're going to go on to the start of lap 25 side by side now, myself and Lewis Hamilton. It is going to be a proper drag race into turn 1. Neither of us have got DRS here, because I believe we both crossed the detection point together, as we now slow it all down for turn 1, down the second gear, once again side by side through the chicane. Hamilton just gets his nose in front, and he's going to hold on to the lead for now, but I'm not done there, as I'm going to pull to the inside and try and go up the inside of Curva Grande here, and we're going to make the move for P1 and re-overtake Lewis Hamilton finally, and hopefully this time we can hold on to the lead of the race with only a couple more laps to go. I really want to bring this victory home for Ferrari, and moving literally 1 lap later, and now onto the back straight on lap 26, Lewis Hamilton is still with us here, and he's going to launch another attack on us with some DRS here, but he's actually not going to go for the move, so Hamilton stays back for now. But Rosberg just flies past. Look at that, Rosberg literally breezes past in a straight line, and out of nowhere Rosberg takes the lead of the race here at Monza. So all of a sudden this has turned to a 3-car scrap, and both of the Mercedes against myself, as we now go side by side with Nico Rosberg. It's the race down to Parabolica here, and who's going to literally win the braking battle into Parabolica? I'm trying to squeeze Rosberg to the inside to try and get a little bit of a switchback onto him on the exit, and that's exactly what I'll do, as I get a fantastic exit and great traction through Parabolica. But Rosberg, look at the straight line speed of that Mercedes. He literally must have turned up the engine to the maximum wick here, but finally we're going to get DRS, and hopefully on to the last lap of the race we can make the move here on Nico Rosberg. Now into turn 1, going to try and brake as late as I can to try and match the Mercedes on the brakes, and we're going to get the move into the chicane, running in nice and deep on purpose, because that's going to set us up for some nice traction on the exit on the racing line here, and side by side once again through Curva Grande. This is getting really tiresome now, and I'm really starting to keep up with this, but as you can see side by side through Curva Grande, I'm trying to hold the inside line. Rosberg just gets around the outside. I'm going to switch back to the inside and try and dive one up the inside on the brakes here. Can I make it stick? Possibly. It's going to be tight. Rosberg's still there, and Rosberg just holds on to first place. I'm trying to get past, but there's no way through. Rosberg really doing a good job here of defending his position as we go through the Lesmos, and I run a little bit wide onto the gravel there through the first Lesmo, which sets me back a little bit, and then trying to push into the second one. I run deep once again, and I've actually dropped out of not DRS range, but I've dropped out of any opportunity to make a move on Rosberg down that back straight. As we come through the final corner now, I get a really good exit, but I don't think it's going to be enough as we go for the run up to the line. And who's going to win the race? It's going to be Rosberg, and I just can't get past him in time, even though I did just get DRS there at the end. It's just a shame. If the finish line had been a bit further back, I maybe could have had a chance, but Rosberg wins the race, and what an incredible race that was. Literally just action all across the field there, and that Mercedes battle right at the end with Rosberg popping out of nowhere. Literally, I was expecting Hamilton to go for the move, and then all of a sudden Rosberg literally walked past both of us with DRS up the inside. So good job from Rosberg there. A really aggressive overtake that was needed for him to win the race, and this means he's going to extend his championship lead over us, which is not ideal, and he's basically nabbed 1 upgrade from us, because we was on course to win the race and get 3 upgrades, but instead I think we're going to have to settle for 2. But moving into the final race results, you can see that Rosberg won the race there, and myself just 2 turns behind him, with Lewis Hamilton running off the podium, and then Nico Hülkenberg finishing way up in P4. Fantastic result for him there in the Force India. Then my teammate Sebastian Vettel finishing in P5, and he was in the lead of the race at one point, with Marcus Ericsson in 6th, Sergio Perez in 7th place as well, so double points for Force India, and then Kevin Magnussen in 8th, Carlos Sainz in 9th, and then Max Verstappen rounds out the top 10. So Daniel Ricciardo nowhere in sight in the top 10, so he's had a bit of a poor race today, but overall that is the top 10, and we're going to move into the Drivers' Championship, and you can see that Rosberg is now 29 points ahead of us here, and he's also extended his lead to 50 over Sebastian Vettel and 59 over his teammate Lewis Hamilton. So all us 3 have work to do if we want to try and catch up to Nico Rosberg in the championship, and Rosberg desperately needs to have have a bad race or DNF, because at the moment he's in incredible form at the moment and no one can touch him. And moving finally into the constructors, you can see that Mercedes have extended their gap and we're now 20 points behind, or 29 points behind. Sorry, I can't properly see on my screen, but we are quite a fair few points behind Mercedes now in the constructors. But overall, those have been the standings, and we're just quickly going to look at the permutations. And second place means that we get 2 spins off the wheel, so we're going to do that right now, and this is going to be for the next race in Singapore. So let's see what we get. The first upgrade is going to be the no, it's been the setup upgrade. Sorry, the setup reset again. That's the second time this season we've had that. So we're going to get the second spin, and we actually get the rear wing. So we get the worst possible thing counteracted by the best possible thing. So we've got a setup reset for the next race, so that means we've got a default setup for Singapore. However, because we've got the rear wing after, that means we can modify the rear wing for Singapore. So luckily enough, it's not too bad. It's going to be the full setup, but we should have some okay straight line speed because of that rear wing. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed that video, and if you have, then please do smash that like button. It lets me know that you're enjoying these videos. Let's see if we can try and hit 100 likes for this race, guys. I'm going to challenge you to hit 100 likes for the Italian Grand Prix. And also, if you're new around here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, as I'm closing in on 4,000 subscribers. And yeah, guys, that's about for this video, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. Goodbye.